Michael did not understand how he had gotten there. Only yesterday the sky was a peaceful mist, and now he found himself amidst swords and screams. There was no room for wonder. Lucifer had gathered his own, convinced that creation was not perfect and that everything made could be improved. But that improve was a fancy way of saying he wanted to change the rules in his favor. Other angels followed him, some out of fear, others out of curiosity. And suddenly, without many being able to understand how heaven became a battlefield. Michael did not want to be there, but there he was. He had never imagined himself as a leader of anything. Obedience was enough. It was what was expected of him. And now, without knowing how the Creator had put him in charge, he did not ask for explanations. There was no time. In heaven, angels fought in a way they had never known. It was not their nature. But Lucifer had dragged them to a place where blows were necessary, and shining wings flapped wildly. Those who followed Michael did so. After all, they believed in order, because they knew there was a reason behind it all. Those who followed Lucifer were something else. Lucifer, amid chaos, was still beautiful. His wings still became splendid, but there was something that didn't fit. His light was different, a strange glow that did not warm. There was an emptiness in her gaze that Michael had never seen before. "Why do you do it?" Michael asked when they finally came face to face, in the middle of it all. Lucifer smiled, but it wasn't a friendly smile. It never was. "Because I can. Because I want to see what else is there. The Creator has limited us, Michael. He has made us powerful, but only to fulfill His desires. It is not enough." Michael didn't know how to respond to that. He had never thought of it that way. For him, it simply wasn't necessary. He had never felt the urge to seek something outside of the divine plan. Not out of fear, but because he saw no point in questioning it. It was what it was. "It is not what we are," Michael said simply. But Lucifer was no longer listening to him. Not to him, not to anyone else. War was not a discussion. Swords crossed again, and Michael fought with all his might. He knew that, if Lucifer won, everything would end in a way he could not imagine. But not because he was capable of imagining it. It was simply something that should not happen. And that was enough for Michael. The battle was long. Lucifer's followers fell, one by one, and with each one that fell, the sky felt a little emptier. But Lucifer wouldn't stop. He could not stop. Every time Michael looked at him, he saw in his eyes the same question, the same demand for freedom that had never been necessary. And then, finally, Lucifer fell. It was not a glorious final blow, not an epic fight like the ones the humans counted on. Just a moment, a pause, a well-aimed blow, and the brightest angel of all collapsed. His wings, which had once filled the sky with his light, were now burnt, his feathers black. Michael watched him slowly descend, his body losing itself in the shadows he had created. There was no victory. There was no joy. Only a heavy silence filled the empty spaces where once there was light. The angels who had followed Lucifer disappeared with him, vanished to a place that was no longer heaven, but no longer earth either, a place the Creator had reserved for those who defied him. Michael did not know what to feel. There was no relief, no satisfaction. Only the certainty that things would become as they were before, though not quite. Heaven was safe, but something in him had been broken. There was no erasing what had happened. It could not be ignored that, for a time, chaos had had its place in the realm of peace. Without a word, Michael put away his sword. He did not look back. The angels around him waited for some kind of sign, but he had nothing to say to them. Heaven had changed, and that was all. Michael walked alone again. This time, however, he did not look at the horizon as he usually did. He simply walked, letting the sky rebuild itself. And so, little by little, the sky became again what it was. But now everyone knew there was another place, a dark place where Lucifer's glow was forever extinguished, and where the fallen angels waited, perhaps for a second chance that would never come. What do you think would have happened if Michael had decided to listen to Lucifer's words? Would heaven have become the same? Let us know what you think in the comments.